Americans are having a difficult time securing loans. Commercial foreclosures spike and the AI threat. Hi, it's Edward, back with another video. Please take a moment to click the thumbs up button below and consider subscribing to the channel. Please also share this video with your friends. Thank you for your support. Today, I read several financial news articles. I've included links to the articles in the description below. I encourage you to read the articles to support the authors and news sources. As a private American citizen, I'd like to report and share my transformative thoughts through commentary regarding small sections of these articles that are of public interest. Today, I read an article on foxbusiness.com written by Megan Henney titled, "Americans are struggling to get a loan since the Fed started raising rates." According to the author, Americans are having a harder time getting approved for loans and other financial products nearly 2 years after the Federal Reserve began aggressively hiking interest rates. The author went on to say a new survey published by Bankrate found that 50% of loans or financial product applicants have been denied since the Fed started raising rates in March 2022. Well, my friends, the long period of cheap and easy money has come to an end, depending on how you look at it. For those who were buying real estate back in the 1980s, they'd consider our current interest rate environment to be great compared to then. In October 1981, interest rates peaked at 18.63%, according to Freddie Mac data. The 30-year fixed was barely above 7% the last time I checked this past week. What a bargain! Now, I understand a lot of people are depressed because you can't get a 30-year fixed-rate mortgage at 2.65% like you could back in early 2021. I don't think the government should have ever allowed rates to dip that low. They overheated the real estate market. The author of the article went on to say, credit card applications have been rejected the most frequently, with 14% of Americans reporting that banks denied them a new credit card, while another 6% were refused a balance transfer card. Others were denied a credit limit increase on their existing credit card, 11%, a personal loan, 10%, car loan or car lease, 9%, insurance, 8%, and a mortgage loan, 5%. Banks are tightening their lending standards in response to higher interest rates. Well, my friends, I have no doubt banks want to limit their risk. Many may be looking at the health of your average American consumer and recognizing there may be some problems brewing. I really am surprised we have not yet been reading about more credit card companies lowering credit limits or closing some credit accounts altogether. This is something that often happened during the Great Financial Crisis. This caught a lot of everyday people off guard back then because they didn't realize that could even happen. A lot of business owners also saw their lines of credit dry up, which resulted in a lot of pain. I hate to see people or businesses relying too heavily on credit to survive. You never know if there is going to be a rug pull at some point in the future. I'm curious if any of you know people who experienced that rug pull in the past. If so, tell me about it in the comment section below. It's not just everyday people who are having a hard time thriving in this new economic reality in America. I read an article today on ZeroHedge.com written by Tyler Durden, likely a pseudonym for writers at Zero Hedge, titled "The End of Extend and Pretend." According to the author, the number of U.S. commercial foreclosures spiked to 635 in January 2024 from a low of 141 in May 2020. This is according to real estate data firm Adam. The January count was up 17% from the previous month and roughly twice as many as in January 2023. Well, my friends, this is interesting information, but these numbers are still pretty low. However, please consider the fact that commercial properties are usually a lot more expensive than residential properties, so we are still talking about a lot of money. While these numbers are low, the trend is still something that we should pay attention to. Let's hope it does not accelerate moving forward. No one wants commercial properties being sold for fire sale prices in their community. No one wants to see commercial properties sitting vacant either. Depending on the property manager, these can sometimes fall into disrepair. Instead of the lawns being nicely fertilized and striped, they start to dry up and get taken over by weeds. Instead of the parking lot being maintained and resealed regularly, they often get taken over by weeds and start looking gray and weathered. Instead of windows getting replaced when they get broken, they often get boarded up. These large commercial buildings can end up being an eyesore. I watched a commercial property in the next city over from me sit vacant for years because it was listed too high. It started looking worse and worse year after year. I recently talked with a broker who told me it was broken into and vandalized, and it also sustained some extensive water damage when the electricity was turned off and the pumps were no longer operational. He said the damage was severe and the insurance company refused to pay the claims for the damages because the owners did not take proper steps to keep the property secure and keep the electricity turned on. He doubted any buyers were going to want the property moving forward because the property was going to get worse since no one came in to remediate the water damage. It's really sad to see this type of thing happen. If the owners would have been in a position where they could have priced it more competitively, all of this could have potentially been avoided. Perhaps they were so levered up they couldn't afford to sell it for market value or slightly below to find a buyer. I wish more investors would entertain doing commercial to residential conversions. I think city officials should take a close look at local building codes and do whatever is possible to allow for this when it makes sense. I'm not suggesting they modify building codes that would create unsafe residential properties that were previously commercial. I'm suggesting they get rid of some nitpicky codes that might cause problems for investors who want to convert commercial properties to residential. Many commercial properties were built with superior construction techniques when compared to residential properties. Some commercial properties could be converted to very nice residential dwellings, in my opinion. Some office buildings are located in desirable areas where people can walk to local attractions. If this office space is not as valuable as it once was because of the work from home trend and because businesses are trying to become more lean, it could be repurposed for residential. I'd rather see this than watch properties deteriorate in communities. Getting back to the article, the author referenced Bloomberg reporter Patrick Clark as saying, "We certainly hear people say over the next couple of years, with commercial real estate debt as a catalyst, hundreds, if not thousands of banks are going to go away, either because they go out of business or they need to be swallowed up or they need to join forces with another weak bank to survive. The combination of two weak banks does not make a strong one." Well, my friends, this seems to somewhat echo what happened with residential real estate during the Great Financial Crisis. Note, I didn't say it was exactly like it. I didn't say it was going to be as bad. I just said it seems to somewhat echo what happened. Let's hope we don't see more bank failures in the future. I hate to think about the ripple effects this could have throughout the economy. What do you think about all this? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Here's something that may also impact commercial property vacancies. I read an article on foxbusiness.com written by Aislinn Murphy titled, "Study Finds 75% of U.S. Adults Expect Job Pool to Shrink Due to AI." The author of this article references a Bentley Gallup Business and Society study with 5,400 U.S. adults that found 3/4 of Americans above the age of 18 believe the job pool will shrink due to artificial intelligence. However, 6% of people believe AI will boost jobs in America. In my opinion, I think we will see more losses from AI than new jobs created. But what do I know? I'm just some guy on YouTube. I do believe some of what we hear about relating to AI is just hype, because companies love hype, especially if it helps boost their stocks. Please note that I said some of what we hear about relating to AI is hype. I didn't say AI was hype. That would make me sound like one of those people back in the 1990s who thought the internet was just a fad. I believe some companies will use AI to reduce human capital to increase profitability. I'll include a link in the description below to an article published back on August 14th, 2023, which was written by Janine Mancini and put out by Benzinga, titled, "IBM Plans to Replace Nearly 8,000 Jobs with AI. These jobs are the first to go." This provides you with some insight into what could potentially happen at a lot of large companies in the future. In my opinion, young people need to be very careful when selecting an occupation to go into. People already in the workforce need to find ways to stay relevant and always be ready to pivot if and when their position is eliminated. I think a lot of white-collar jobs could potentially be at jeopardy at some point in the future, depending on how AI advances. I'm sure there will be some great new positions created to support AI, But like I said earlier, I think more jobs will be displaced than created. If businesses need fewer humans, they don't need as large of a commercial real estate footprint. Some companies may reduce the space that they own or lease. As more of this is dumped on the market in a higher interest rate environment, this may result in more pain in the commercial real estate market. What do you think about all this? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Please keep in mind that everything in this video is for entertainment purposes only, and nothing in this video is financial advice or advice of any kind. If you need advice, seek advice from a qualified professional in good standing who puts your interests first and foremost. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing to the channel. Please also consider sharing this video with your friends. I want to extend a special thanks to everyone who has subscribed to this channel. I want to also thank all of my channel members. Check out some of the great books that I suggest you consider reading in the description below. I've included Amazon affiliate links to these books. As an Amazon associate, I earn from qualifying purchases. Stay healthy and wealthy. I'll see everyone in the next video.